And we're back again. I'm shooting a couple videos back to back here, so bear with me. But I had to address this because, yes, I'm getting DMs, I'm getting comments. Hey, have you seen the new leaked photos of the Banshee, the new Charger SRT that they're coming out with sometime in 2024? Have you seen it? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Well, of course I've seen it. I'm a Dodge guy. I got this thing, the second that thing was posted, I got pinged. But let me just be clear about leaked photos. This just goes back to me being a business guy of thinking some strategy here. Like, if you're gonna leak photos and you want them to go viral and you want them to hit every news outlet in the planet, you don't leak them yourself. You let them get out and make it a real leak. But when you post them yourself, I don't know, maybe it's a missed opportunity for them. Let them leak, even though we've already seen the car, and say that this is the final production model, and then let it end up hitting all, then the news goes crazy thinking they got something, and they leaked these photos, and it's a gotcha, and we all think, wow, we got them, we got to see it before they wanted us to see it. And then kind of takes its natural life of its own out there on the internet. But with Dodge actually leaking their own photos means it's not really a leak, it's promotion, and I have no problem with that. I just think sometimes strategy is everything. And in my business, I'm a strategist. Strategy is everything, and they could have probably gotten this thing out there even better. But nonetheless, yes, I saw it, and I'll share my opinion. And on first blush, seeing it, having seen it at the auto shows, seeing it in person one time, hearing the electric version in person one time, and getting to actually touch one of these things, the concepts, you know, I like the car. I can't, I'm not going to be just hate it because they came out with it as EV, and now they're saying it's going to have the twin turbo Hurricane engine in it. I'm not going to hate it just because it doesn't have the V8. I'm probably not going to buy it because it doesn't have the V8, but I'm not going to hate the looks of the car. I think the looks of the car, assuming the dimensions are the same as the dimensions on the concept car, which they didn't shrink it down, then the car looks really cool. And you could comment and tell me you hate it. That's okay. But I think a lot of us are somewhat unconsciously biased about this thing out of the gate, saying we hate it because we hate what it represents. It represents the loss of our beloved V8 Hemi Challengers and Chargers, and I understand that. I feel that same way. I want to hate this car. I like how it looks. I'm not sure I like that it's a hatchback. In looking at the photos, and basically what we were all told is this thing's a hatchback. But I get it. If like hauling stuff and, you know, want to carry a ladder or something, maybe it makes it easier. But with these things, we can put our seats down. So I'm not sure I'm excited about a hatchback, but it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad from the back. It doesn't look bad from the front. Of course, the version they're going to show us is always going to be the version that is the best possible looking version. It looks like it's got the nice wheels and tires and nice stance to it and everything else. But we all know that when they come out with these cars, that there's the base models and then the more advanced versions, the more sporty versions, everything else. So this is showing us what the highest possible MSRP might be, and this is probably the electric version. So for that reason, I hate it. But as far as the twin turbo 6, I'm really on the fence about that. I'm impressed that if they can get 500 plus horsepower and almost 500 foot-pounds of torque out of a 6-cylinder, then that might be a lot of fun. With that said, it's a twin turbo, so it's a different experience than this naturally aspirated Scat Pack, that I get the power right when I need the power. A good example, on my wife's Defender, we were going to jump into a lane, and in the carpool lane, and a car was coming, and I don't ever drive her car, but I was driving it that day coming back from our vacation, and I went to jump in the lane and stomped on the pedal, and nothing happened. It went woo, and then took off. In the meantime, I'm getting honked at and middle fingered and everything. So, you know, difference between that and this, which I drive every day, is I drop this sucker down in a second and I stomp on it and it just boogies. I love a good naturally aspirated V8, and I don't know that that's going to be anywhere near the same experience. Top speeds are going to be different. You know, big highway driving, those trips to Mexico or Vegas, when you're out on the highway and you want to stretch the legs and it's just an awesome feeling, you're the only one on the road. I don't know how that's going to feel in that car. So I think we're going to definitely be giving some things up, which of course makes us all lean towards looking at the Mustangs and some of the other opportunities out there with other V8 cars that might still be around, which they're getting really limited. But if this thing comes out, I will drive it, I will definitely review it, and I will contemplate it. But at the same time, I might just be overdodged by then because of the games they're playing with the alchemy, the last calls, the markups, the dealer games. I'm feeling just like my integrity alone is making me really contemplate how much of a Dodge guy I am moving forward based on all the just ridiculous behavior. So that's my opinion on this thing. I think it looks great. I think it's interesting. I think they can the electric crap. I think the fact that even if you get the twin turbo 6, that there will be some guy in an electric version that comes up alongside you and embarrasses you on the highway until he runs out of his battery. So just the whole thing is, we're just losing touch with what this whole culture was about. And I don't know if I'm going to be part of it or not, but I'm not going to lie. If something looks good, I'm going to tell you, I think it looks good. I think it looks good. I think it looks better than a Mustang. How about that? Let's start with that as the base for our decisions. I don't want a Mustang. I don't like the Mustangs. I'm just not a Mustang guy. GT500 was kind of nice, but it has all the stuff on it, so maybe I don't hate them. But I still think that looks better than like an equivalent Mustang. How about that? So with that, everybody, that's just my opinion. I'm sharing it with you. And this, they say 2024. They say this might find its way to the roads 2024 later this year, and that could make for some interesting content that we'll be doing when and if that happens. But it also should be interesting to see how many of the current Challengers and Chargers are still being sold on lots, competing against this newest thing. I think we've got some great stories coming. I think we've got some great analysis that we're going to be able to have this year when this thing finally hits dealership floors. And we already know the dealers are going to get them, and they're going to be like, it's the first one. So because it's the first one, you'll never get a chance at the first one again. So guess what? You got to pay $50,000 over. They'll go from the script from it was the last one, you got to pay $50,000 over, to it's the first one. You're never going to get a chance to get the first one. Everybody wants it, so you have to pay $50,000 over, because we know these leopards ain't going to change their spots, and they're still going to be playing these stupid games. So I'm ready to call it quits. I mean, I am. Tim, I'm begging you, get a handle on these clowns. You want me to participate in this thing? You want any of us to? Get a handle on this dealer stuff. I don't know how to do it. I'm not the genius to figure it out. But this thing's going to be a huge flop if the dealers play games with that thing too. Might be a flop anyways. So with that, everybody, that's all I have to say about this. Please like, subscribe, comment, share this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.